Hi all, welcome to Diversified Finance. Let's have a quick look at the Bitcoin price action. So let me take you back to 2019 July, December to 2018 December, where Bitcoin dropped all the way from 20,000 to about like $3,000. And this blue line right here is the 200 weekly moving average. So back in the day, it held 200 weekly moving average as a support, and from there we've seen like a massive bounce up towards like 14k from 3000. And even if there was another dip, like a quick dip because of coronavirus, like in 2020 March, it dropped back below this 200 weekly moving average, but it quickly recovered and gone back above this 200 weekly moving average. So my point is, this blue line, which is this 200 weekly moving average, we can consider it as a massive support. Like when it bounces on that 200 weekly moving average, there's a high tendency it tends to stay above 200 weekly moving average for a long time, like it could be like for months, right? So let me take you back to 2022, where unfortunately we dropped below this 200 weekly moving average. As you can see here, it dropped below 200 weekly moving average, below this blue line, and it tried to go back above this 200 week moving average, and it failed again, and then dropped further down from about like 25k down to like 15,500 or so. But right now, if you have a look at this one, what's happening right now at the moment, it manages to get back about 200 weekly moving average, which is a pretty good bullish sign. And right now, what it's doing, as you can see here, it's still about 200 weekly moving average. It seems as if it's gonna hold 200 weekly moving average as support, and then we might see a bounce from there. But it's not a guarantee, but it's highly likely it could happen. Worst come to worst, we could drop below 200 weekly moving average, but I don't expect Bitcoin to close a weekly candle below 200 weekly moving average. So I don't believe that would happen. So even if we just quickly drop to like say 25,200 or so, which it has already gone to like 25,900. But let's say even if it drop like below this 200 weekly moving average, because right now it's at 26,177, as you can see here, 26,177. So it could drop below this 200 weekly moving average, but it could quickly recover and get back above and then close the week without closing a body below this 200 weekly moving average. So we only see like a week, something similar to what has happened here. So there's a highly likely we could held 200 weekly moving average as a support, because this is a massive trend line that we've been following for a long time. Even in 2019, as we discussed, it held 200 weekly moving average as support. So that's what we're doing right now. So that's a bullish sign. And I can still see like people are still calling this the bear market. We cannot say it's a bear market right now. If it's a bear market, we need to see continuous lower highs and lower lows, right? So for example, this is a high here, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, likewise. And if you look at the lows from 2022, there's a low here, there's another lower low, a lower low, lower low, and the lower low. But right now, what we're seeing, the trend has changed completely. It has done like 180 degrees turn, and we've seen low, higher low, and higher low, and high, higher high, higher high, right? So when we see this sort of a trend change, we cannot say we are in a bear market. So bear market actually finished in November 2022. Last year it finished actually, right? According to this, yes, there's a possibility. There's like a unlikely scenario that we might break below 200 weekly moving average and drop all the way back down to like below 20K, 18K, unless we see Bitcoin below like 20,000 or so, right? This trend seems to be like, going higher, right? So it's like a short term, it could be a short term bull trend where Bitcoin might push all the way up to like 40K or 45K or so. There's a possibility it could happen. That's higher probability that could happen. Higher probability. So I would say 70-80% chance, even 75%, 80% chance it could continue this trend towards like 45, 40 to 45. If we are lucky, to up to like 50, right? Then after that, there could be a possibility we might see a bit of a correction, like, back to 20K or so, even below 20K. There's a possibility it could happen, but we have to wait and see. We don't want to predict, like, like, because we haven't even seen like 40K yet. We don't want to say like it's going to go to 50K then drop 20K. We don't want to say that, but let's one step at a time. So right now, as long as Bitcoin is about 200 weekly moving average, the trend is still bullish. It'll just be like a massive support, and we might see a bigger pump coming up soon, like, in a couple of weeks or so. Yeah, so that's about Bitcoin price action. So yeah, I'm not, I'm 100% convinced the bear market is finished. There's no doubt about that. Yes, there could be, once if Bitcoin goes up to like 40, 45K or so, there could be a scenario where it's like overheated. It could be like going up to overbought levels. If that's the case, it might correct after it has gone down to those levels. So we discuss about this trend, like, I mean, I've done many videos from about like June to November, and I mentioned many times, like, it's a good time for us to get into Bitcoin. Like, I thought the 70K used to be the bottom, but it dropped another $2,000 below 17,500 to like 15,500. So even if you bought Bitcoin around 17,500, you are still above, like, you still be like 10,000K above, like, if you look at the average price, right, from 17K to 26K. So these areas, like especially below 200K moving area, would have been like a bargain. And even right now, looking at the economic, and as you can see in US, there's a lot of banks are failing right now. So given that Bitcoin is deflationary, right, there's only 21 million Bitcoins that you can generate, that everyone can have. So given that it's deflationary perspective, people could see Bitcoin as a solution for all these failing banks in US. So I mean, where can you keep your money? Like, if the banks are falling, if you can't withdraw your money, you would rather take your money out and buy some Bitcoin, which has, like, which cannot be printed as same as fiat currencies, right? Yeah, so that's just a quick video in regards to Bitcoin price action. I'll talk to you in the next video. See ya.